Good afternoon from Cape Cod. It's a glorious fall day here on the Cape. And I've been thinking about the upcoming election. I've been thinking about it in terms of how we can disagree without demonizing one another. We live in a time in which people take difference so seriously that the slightest disagreement becomes the opportunity for denunciation, insult, and demonization. I don't know about you, but I've been called all sorts of names on Facebook and other media by people I don't even know. Perhaps simply as a result of a political comment, a very simple one, a non-offensive one, or the statement of a fact. We have become an uncivil nation, and most especially on social media or in the political realm. We call people names, as Paul Simon says, you've never even heard of in the Bible. Or we call names of people we don't know, describing them as fools, as unpatriotic, as not loving their country, as corrupt or socialist or heathens or pagans, for just a simple disagreement, and oftentimes without any evidence. I suspect most of this demonization is a result of distancing and abstraction. We don't look at the concrete person. We don't look at them in their fullness. We don't try to understand who they are or that they're fellow human beings just like ourselves, with passions and joys and sorrows and opinions just like us. It's clear that we need healing. We need healing in politics. We need healing in civil discourse. We need healing online. For the past year or so, I've been trying to experience God online. I've been trying to experience what might be described as prophetic healing. And both of those have inspired me to write. They've inspired me to write and reflect on what it might mean to see our social media posts and our social media attention as a type of spiritual formation. And it's inspired me to look at the need to be both a prophet and a healer, to disagree without demonization. Now, there are many pathways toward civility. There are many pathways toward prophetic disagreement. There are many pathways toward discovering God online. But let me suggest a few. The first is to recognize our common humanity. I think one of the things that social media has done has tempted us to see other persons as caricatures, to see the world in binary terms, us and them, in and out, patriots and those who don't love their country, when in fact the matter we do share a common humanity. Second, to see the holiness of one another. We are not separate from each other. We are God's beloved children. And to see that first and foremost, and to revere the lives we have, to see the lives we have as holy, to recognize diversity as positive, an opportunity for learning, to realize that when we see different opinions and experience different opinions, we may discover something we hadn't known before. And of course, going from difference to respect is grounded in humility, in seeing the limitations of our own positions, to seeing that each one of our positions is finite, limited, and could be wrong. As Reinhold Niebuhr says, I look in it for the truth in my neighbor's falsehood and the falsehood, the limits of my own truth. We need to return to a different time in which people who differed from us were described as the loyal opposition, when we could be friends despite our differences, when we could recognize that differing on a few things doesn't mean differing on everything. In that way, we can confront oppression, we can confront evil, we confront that which is repugnant to us and still preserve the value of those with whom we correspond. There is a possibility of common ground. There is a possibility of social healing. There is a possibility of finding God online. But we need to look at our civil lives as relational, as prayerful, as an opportunity to seek the common good and a more perfect union.